Now, what we have done so far is we have just referenced a certain namespace inside our category.php script. This usage of use keyword is it's been used, or it's been utilized to tell the compiler that we are interested in the namespace posts, and then we need to add a certain thing. We need to refer to a certain functionality inside the namespace. Your namespace might be large. It might contain several different types of classes. So if you really want to use some sort of class or some sort of functionality inside your new script, you need to call that class. You just need to add a backward slash and then add the class name that you're interested in. So this tells the compiler that use or reference the post output class and all its functionality, from the namespace posts. So you might remember that we stored, or we packaged our post output class inside our post namespace. Now what if we want to add another namespace, a new namespace that will store the category class? What will happen in that case? So let's write namespace, and let's now call this a template, a template namespace. So we have created a new namespace. So this is a new package, and this houses, or this stores, this class category, or this category class that we're going to define later on. But will it clash, or will it cause some sort of conflict inside our script if we are trying to use a certain functionality from a different namespace and place it inside yet another namespace? The answer to that question is that it won't cause any conflict. But you might be thinking that this use keyword is some way importing all this functionality of the post output class from the post.php, because it resides in the same relative path or in the same directory. But unfortunately, you're mistaken. It's not. The use keyword is not used to import any sort of functionality. It's there to reference some sort of functionality from a certain namespace, or that stores a certain class. The main functionality of, or the main usage of this use keyword is actually we are trying to shorten a large name. This might be tedious when the script gets bigger. So you might have heard about URL shortening. There is this service called bit.ly or bit.ly, in whatever way you might call it. This service takes a huge chunk of URL and it shortens that name into a more acceptable way, or you might say it takes less string of characters. It reduces the string of characters that the usual URL has. So similarly, we are using this use keyword, and we are telling the compiler that we are interested in the post_output class from the post namespace, and we want to bring its function. We want to reference all its functionality inside the namespace template, or the template namespace. Now, I was talking about shortening the name. Yes, the main functionality, or the main usage of this use keyword is telling the compiler we are interested in this section of code, in this functionality stored inside the section of code, and we want to shorten this large name into something that is easy to remember. I'll show you the shortening part in a little while, but let me first show you how to use those functionality inside our new script. I've tweaked the code. I've tweaked the code inside post.php script a little. What I've done in here is I have commented out I've commented out line 15, 16, and 17, and this would I'll actually explain this later on. I'll explain this in a short while after I explain how to use all this functionality inside our new namespace and inside our new script. So that you simply need to, you might even create a variable. Suppose we create a variable called new category, and what we need to do in here is we need to call the post output class, and we need to store something inside the static property of posts. So in the static property, okay, I made a mistake. So in the static property of post, let's first assign something to that post, and we'll assign this entire thing, or we'll print this out on our browser directly. So let's assign a new value called we might pass in a string that will say new category for the template namespace. So let's save this, and what we simply need to do to see the result, we need to pass it along inside our printf function. Okay, we are ready to go. Now you might see something different. We have already told the compiler that we are interested in the namespace posts and inside the post output class. And now in this line 7, you might see that we are not using the posts followed by the backward slash anymore. We have already told the compiler that reference all this functionality of post output from the namespace posts. We are already inside a new namespace, and we are trying to reference or access the reference points of another namespace. So because we have already used this name, we just need to use the class name later on. We don't need to. You can even shorten this and in another way, but I'll be showing you that after I show you the output of this result of this code. What we're doing, because our posts output is a static property, and I hope you remember what a static property is. It does not require any sort of instantiation. It will directly take in a value by using the exact name of the class. So that's why we are using the post output class name directly, followed by the scope resolution operator, and we are trying to bring in the post static property from the class, and then we assigned a new string value to this post property. Then we have gone to print this out on our browser. Now let's save this and print this out on our browser. Let's save this too, and let's bring up the browser. Now let's okay. Oh, I haven't mentioned one thing. Now you might be thinking that this use keyword is actually importing something, or it's actually importing all those functionality from the post output class that is stored inside the